The YouTuber Clyde has been making a string of videos recently about how powerful and fast Ichigo and other Bleach characters are, and I'm here to tell you everything he said is poppycock! Let's start off with his arguments on speed. He said even by the time of the Soul Society arc, Ichigo was already multiple times faster than the speed of light, possibly up to 100 times faster than it. And he had the audacity to say that he didn't go overboard. He even brought up how scaling too much would go against author's intent, and how he would just look at you funny if you told him the insane speeds you calced for Ichigo at a specific moment in time. But that's exactly what Clyde did. He just didn't go as overboard as the example he gave. Showing us an even crazier example doesn't prove your scaling isn't also crazy. His whole scaling argument he made in this video was based off of how Ichigo reacted to a Menos Grande attack, which Clyde claims was light speed due to a guidebook statement. But all the guidebook said was a powerful spiritual light. Saying that confirms its light speed is a bit ridiculous, especially when the rest of the series contradicts that kind of speed. It's also very hypocritical of him to use that guidebook statement, but then disregard the guidebook statement about Gin's Bankai speed. Speaking of Gin's Bankai, let's talk about that. Gin's Bankai speed is clearly supposed to be relevant at that point in the series, if not one of the fastest things there is, and he said it was only 500 times the speed of sound, which is 1,748 times slower than light. He expected people to bring that up and directed them to go watch his Explaining the Speed of Bleach Characters video. And oh boy did that open up a whole new can of worms. Let me play a couple clips from his video. First, listen to this one.
I mean, if you actually want to take the statement further and make it even more wacky, you could just say that Ichigo literally has the power of a god, and godly lightning is faster than real-life lightning. You see how dumb this is?
And now listen to this one.
You could also argue that sound in Bleach is actually faster than it is in real life too.
Yeah, he basically does exactly what he says you shouldn't do by making up his own weird headcanon that sound in Bleach is faster than regular sound.
You see how dumb this is?
He tries to make some completely erroneous comparison with the speed of a punch having different speeds depending on the person throwing it. But Gin wasn't talking about how quickly he clapped, or who claps. He then tries to bring up how Gin lied about its speed. But by Gin's own wording, he implied it was actually slower than what he said, not faster. He lists Bleach, because it's one of the only solid speed statements to scale off of. He brings up a lot of other attacks that he thinks are light speed, just because they have the word light involved with them. But that's just not how it works. He even admits that when talking about Quincy arrows, but then says they're faster than light because of scaling off the faster than light captains. But they were only faster than light in the first place due to those very same statements. And even if they were light speed, almost all the feats he showed were just reaction feats, and not them going faster than the actual attack itself. And if Ichigo really was multiple times faster than light during the Soul Society arc, why would all of these lightspeed attacks be giving trouble to characters throughout the entire series? He also said Lily Barrow's attacks are lightspeed, and that one is actually reasonable, but Shinsui could barely survive against him and was basically running for his life. And how can someone think Lily Barrow's attacks are the same speed as some low-tier Arrancar? Just to further prove Clyde doesn't know what he's talking about, he actually thinks you can scale off of teleportation when it comes to speed. He talks about how he isn't sure if what Butterfly Aizen did was actual teleportation or not, but it doesn't even matter, as reacting to someone who teleported behind you isn't even special. If someone teleports behind you, they still have to attack, so reacting to that just proves you can react to a surprise attack from behind. It doesn't mean you could react to teleportation. For example, if a regular human had the power to teleport, and if they teleported behind Dangai Ichigo, Ichigo would have enough time to turn around and probably slap them a few thousand times before they could even process anything. So Ichigo reacting to Aizen's teleport attack is just a bit more impressive than him reacting to a regular attack due to the surprise factor. Now let's get into his power arguments. His argument basically completely relied on the Sogyoku statements, which again is BS. Transcended Aizen thought destroying a mountain with a swing of his sword was impressive. That makes no sense as Soul Society Ichigo was already planet level. He basically made it seem like he thought Ichigo might have been universe level if it wasn't for Yuha's and the Soul King's hype of being universe level themselves, which they aren't by the way. And I honestly shouldn't have to explain why the guy whose best feat is about city block level isn't planetary, and especially not universe level. Clyde even said he thinks Rangiku of all people can affect the entire planet with her spiritual pressure. The only people we've seen do this are the Soul King, Yuha Baha, and Yamamoto with his Bankai. The only way Rangiku is affecting the entire planet is by giving the weebs around the world boners.